Welcome everybody, this is the KastKing Spartacus bait casting reel. We're going to go ahead and break it down and assess the integrity of the internals of the reel. This reel has only been used in freshwater, keep that in mind. First off, as always, we'll take the side plate off, assess that ball bearing right there, looks good. We'll take the spool out. Okay. That one looks good. Set that to the side. Okay, now we'll go ahead and remove this retaining screw. And we're going to set that off to the right hand side in reverse order that we're taking it out. Okay, and you can see the clip also comes off with that. So right here, if you're using metal pliers, just be careful with this part. Okay, you're going to want to loosen that up, and they're reverse threaded, so right is actually loosening it. So once you get that part off, set that off to the side. Take your cranking handle off and set that next to it. Okay, then you have your spacer here. Spacer goes down. Okay, right here you're going to have to release the star drag, or loosen the star drag, and that should come all the way off. Be careful when you get to this point, you don't want to have your reel tip over. So you can see here, a little bit of corrosion or a little bit of abrasion right there. Not a huge deal. And at this point you would clean this part off with whatever kind of cleaner you're using. So here's the drag click. Just carefully take that off and set that to the side. You have some washers here, which you can take those off. Clean those at this point if you want. Set those to the side, and then you might have one more which you can take off. Again, set that to the side. So you want to keep all those together. And here is this bearing. You can go ahead and grease or oil this bearing at this point. Now we're going to need to take off the screws, so we'll go ahead and get those out. I'm going to set that off to the side. Keep in mind the size of the screws at this point. Some of them might be different sizes, and you want to make sure you keep those different sizes separated from each other and make a mental note of where they go on the reel. These two happen to be the same size. So right here's another one. Okay, so let's see. This one is slightly different, so you want to make note of that. Those two are the same. This one is slightly different. So this one was outside on the bottom right. So I'll set that to the bottom right of where I took it out of. And then last one is this one. Okay, it looks like this one's a different size as well. As you can see, bottom right, and then on the inside where the spool goes. Like I said, just make sure you make a mental note of where those go. Alright, so now you're ready to take this side plate off. Again, you want to have the cranking handle coming straight up and carefully remove this side plate. Slowly just kind of break the seal off, and then once you get it all broken off around the whole reel, you can slowly remove it. Alright, so here we go. We have the internals, we have our brass gear, and we have our carbon fiber drags on the inside. If you want, you could take this whole gear off, just be careful. Some of these other moving parts will fall off and you might have a hard time getting them off. So you can see here it looks fairly good after probably 6 months of use. And now we're going to go ahead and put it back together. Let me show you the inside of this. So here's the inside of this side plate. At this point you would put some oil on these bearings and clean it as necessary. So carefully put the side plate back on. Should be nice and flush with everything. And again, you're going to go in reverse order. So we'll do these screws first, which are the smaller ones. Those are the easier ones. Just snug is good for right now. Alright, flip it over. So as I said, the longer screw was on the inside. So we'll make sure we'll put that one on the inside. And we'll take this one and put that one in. Alright, So at this point is where you'll go ahead and just make sure everything's tightened. Okay, then you're going to go in reverse order, or move left to right to put everything back on. So we'll go with our washers first. We got one more we need to put on. That one fell. That one fell from the outside of that, so we'll put that one on first. Alright, so you can see it fell from on this side, so put that on like that. So now we have our drag clicker on. Now we're going to put our star drag on, and remember it's reverse threaded, so lefty is actually going to be tight. So once we get it on there, we'll screw it down and hold this knob. Alright, now we're clicking. Alright, and then we're going to put our spacer on and our cranking handle on. Now we'll go with the little brass nut, and again it's reverse threaded, so left is going to be tightened. Just make sure you have it on straight before you start really tightening it down. Alright. Again, if you're using metal pliers, just be careful at this part. You don't want to mess up the nut. So tighten that down. We'll put our clip on. Just so happens that it's perfect again, and we'll put our retaining screw in. Just snug. Spool goes back in. Make sure your line's all nice and organized. Alright, bring the line all the way through like so, and then you have your side plate here. Side plate clicks on just like that. And that was the KastKing Spartacus breakdown and internal integrity assessment.